In today's Sharp Saturday video, we're going to take a look at another made in the USA knife from the folks at Gerber Gear, the Gerber LMF II ASEK version. That's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for trustworthy information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. So the folks at Gerber Gear in Portland, Oregon were kind enough to send me one of their LMF II ASEK version knives. Really excited about this. This is a really solid knife. It is seen duty overseas. Just a really well-made thing. And this knife actually was originally designed for a pilot survival knife to allow them to cut their way out of a downed aircraft, either cut or bash their way. So it's got a serrated edge on it. It's designed to cut the metal skin, aluminum skin of an aircraft, or to break windows, break out of the plexiglass canopies or whatever aircraft. It's just a very well-made knife, well thought out design, and it's got some pretty cool features on the sheath too. So instead of me just rambling on, let me take you down to the we don't even have a stump top here because we're out in the actual woods today, not at the worldwide headquarters. So we're going to take you down somewhere. We'll talk about the details, the specs of this thing, and then we'll get to doing some of that knife stuff. We don't have the balance, orientation, and rotation device here with us either, so we're going to have to go old school when we check the balance on this thing. So, but let's get to that now. Okay, here's the Gerber LMF II ASEK version. Let's talk about the specs of this thing real quickly, and then we'll get to doing some knife stuff. So first of all, it's a pretty beefy knife. It weighs 24 ounces, and it is just over about 10.59 inches, just over 10.5 inches from tip to tip. The blade itself is about a little more than 4 3/4 inches total cutting surface. 1 3/4 inches of that is serrated, and the other 3 inches about is a curved smooth edge. Smooth is the word I'm looking for here. See, it's kind of a drop point design, very thick, very strong. The handle is a fiberglass handle. They actually call this FG304 handle. Then it has a hammer pommel with a strike pommel part here, and there's 3 lashing holes. Now, this is almost a full tang knife. There's an intentional disconnect between the pommel and the tang in the blade, so that it absorbs shock if you're trying to beat your way out of a airplane or whatever. Because again, this was originally designed as a pilot's knife to cut their way out of downed aircraft. So it also is insulated, so if they happen to cut wires or whatever, you won't get electrocuted. So there's that, and that's the knife itself. Again, this is made in the USA. Also, this green color is infrared resistant, so it doesn't have a big infrared signature, which is cool if you are in the military, if you're worried about infrared stuff. So that's the knife, but and it's a pretty solid, beefy knife. But what about the sheath? Well, the sheath is also extremely cool. First of all, it comes with these 2 leg straps, and the leg straps have a little bit of rubbery coating there, so they will grip your leg. They also have a little Velcro here, which is pretty good, because when you slide it through the loops here, that Velcro, and it's probably not officially Velcro, it's hook and loop, but it sticks on there and keeps this thing from slipping around on your leg. So it puts the buckle stays where you want it. It doesn't slide around and get out of the way. And that is on both the upper and the lower. So you can actually use this to strap it to your ankle or your lower leg if you don't want to hook it on your belt. Kind of keep it out of your way. Big belt loop here. And then it also has some molly straps here, so you can hook this on a molly on a vest or a pack or anything like that. It's ambidextrous, so it fits in either way. This way, snaps in very positively, or this way, and has a couple of retention straps, and this is new, so they're kind of tight, but a couple of retention straps here to give you, like I said, they're kind of tight. I just had it on a minute ago. Let me see. Oh, that's probably holding it back. This bottom one especially is very tight, but yeah, so a couple of retention snaps here, snap retention straps, I should say, to really give you solid, secure retention. But also what's really cool is to remove these 2 Velcro things here, and Got to remove a bunch of stuff. Let's see. Like so. And then it has a built-in kind of a little carbide sharpener. So for the smooth edge, you just like so. And so if it gets dull in the field, you can keep it sharp. So, and speaking of sharp, let's just do the redneck sharp test while we're here. And man, yeah, it's sharp straight out of the box. So gotta say, that's pretty impressive to me. I like to see how sharp knives are coming straight from the factory, and this little sharpener is replaceable if you ever need to do that. Again, it is a USA made with a limited lifetime warranty, and really solid knife. The price on this thing is somewhere around 173 bucks. Now that's for the ASEK version. The ASEK version comes with 2 leg straps. I think there's a regular version, like a infantry version, that's about 109 bucks, and it's I think it comes with the same sheath with 1 leg strap. And the ASEK version also comes with a strap cutter here, a little strap cutter. Whether you just need to get out of a harness real quickly, or maybe you're in a parachute or whatever, just you need to cut something quickly. It's got that, and it's got a little molly attachment there, so you can hook that on your molly, and it also has a little glass breaker here for that. So that's the ASEK version. Now let's get to doing some knife stuff. Okay, so I'm going to try to do a little knife stuff here. Again, this is a kind of all-around knife, pretty solid. I don't want to lose that. I've got some pretty solid piece of down wood here. I don't know what kind it is. I'm just gonna do a little chopping on it just to see how well this thing chops. It's not a chopper, but we're gonna do it anyway. And then we'll maybe do carve some curls, because I like to do that. Maybe do a little splitting this up, and see how it works on fire stuff, and wrap this thing up. As standard a knife test as I can do without being in my scientific cutting edge knife testing facility. Let's do it. I'm gonna stand up so you don't have to look at my face. All right, so not bad there. Got this nice little kind of a hook here at the end. There's actually a little bit of kind of some jimping kind of right there. Again, not really designed as a chopper, but it is kind of marketed as a survival knife, so you might have to do all kinds of stuff with it. And it did okay, so let's do something else. Okay, so just for kicks, I went on and chopped this thing up into a smaller piece, and you can see it's got some pretty good knots there on it. And then I carved myself out a little baton here, because there may be some concern that this thing is not a full tang, it won't take a beating, but I'm going to just try to split this piece out here, and it's pretty gnarly. It's not the best piece to split out, but we're going to try it and see what happens. Let me just get that little piece there off the end. And see what happens here. Got a baton here. All right. Not bad there. That's some really smooth wood inside too. Wow. Kind of cool. Let's do it again. Kind of right through the knots. Go through the knot on this one for sure. So pretty good there. You can see, hopefully you can see right through the knots, and I'll bring you down here and give you a little close up in just a minute. Let's split this one more time. Okay, let's see. Rookie mistake, you got to make sure you push the record button before you start making video. So I carved some of these curls out here, but let me just show you what I learned while was off camera is that the serrations, they carve some nice curls. Not bad at all, especially with this really gnarly wood here. Maybe I'll get a little better piece here and come back to you. Let's see if we can do this one. Not too bad. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do now. Because I've got some water here, so we're not gonna start a fire, you know, an unsafe fire. So we'll move this out of the way for a minute. I'm gonna clear out the ground here. It's kind of damp. It's been raining here a day or so ago. But, okay, so I got the Exotac Fire Rod XL here, and I guess I've cut my hand, but we're gonna see if this thing has, it doesn't really seem to have much of a sharp spine, but we're gonna give it a try. Okay, I was wrong. Okay, I'm having severe amateur hour here. I just started a fire with those curls off camera. So what we're gonna do is, just because I want you to make sure there's no hanky-panky or funny business going on here, we're gonna carve some more curls. I guess it's good to show you just how fast you can do this. So right here, real time in front of you. Hopefully I'm on camera and the record button is pushed, and I've got 16 minutes of camera left, the battery left, so we're gonna make this sucker fast. And this is holding this thing free-handed, not even bearing it down on something, so you can see what kind of curls we're getting here. Very good curls with the serrations. So now we're going to take this and we're going to take these curls and put them on this little kind of a bed I made to kind of keep them somewhat off the ground. And now that you can see that, now that we're on camera, show you how well this thing strikes a ferro rod. And this again is the Exotac Fire Rod XL. And just look at that. Would you just look at it? And I believe we got fire. So, and this was kind of just an old stick. I grabbed a damp stick, and you can see it worked just fine. So far the LMF II is rocking the house. Now, just because, and we're here in Georgia, we're not out west where there's a bunch of fires, but we'll go ahead and make sure we got that sucker out anyway, because we don't want there to be a bunch of fires in Georgia either. Okay, well that was a little bit of a doofus moment laden knife testing of the Gerber LMF II ASEK. Not in my scientific testing facility, so kind of threw me off a little bit, but I got to say, as you saw, this thing absolutely performed flawlessly, and I was really, I was kind of thinking it wasn't going to do the ferro rod striking very well. It did a great job of striking the ferro rod. This coating is really smooth, like a titanium coating or whatever, but I mean, it's not a big heavy chopper, but it did some light chopping, did pretty good. It did some light batoning, split through exactly, you know, knots and everything, exactly like you would expect it to. Really solid. I'm not too concerned about the full tang thing. I think the tang goes all the way down to here anyway. Nice job of carving. Again, the fine edge is very sharp, and the serrations did a great job of making feathers for fire starting. Don't really have any aircraft to cut my way out of, or anybody will let me break their windshield, but I can't imagine this thing doing a bad job at that either. And so also I want to show you, their literature shows it being used as a hammer, just like you can hammer with that part. It's kind of flat right there, so if you need to drive something in, a little nail or screw or whatever, just very solid, very capable knife. They're marking this as a survival knife, and I would not feel at all uncomfortable having to trust this to my survival if I were in that kind of situation. So that's the practical stuff. Again, not a cheap knife, but again, the $109 version is the same exact knife, so just as solid, just as good. Just got one less leg strap, and does not have the strap cutter. And I don't think it's IR. It probably puts out a more intense IR signature, but for a straight up survival knife, you can get the $110 version of this is probably going to be just as good because it's the same knife. And I'm rambling, so let's cut to the chase here. You know, here at Survival on Purpose, we are all about the science. And even though we are not in our cutting edge scientific knife testing facility, we don't have the balance, orientation, and rotation device. We do have the pre-runner, this is the pre-processed balance, orientation, and rotation device there. So we're going to check this thing out because you know I got to check the balance of this, right? So let's do that right now. Again, I got to make sure I got my calibration right. So let me readjust this just a touch. So let's give it a shot. Let's try again. A little better that time. Ooh, okay, once more. No. Oh. Chuck Norris can hit you so hard, your blood will bleed. Okay, we're going to call this imbalance, like I said, and I know, I'm going to get comments from some people about, the humanity that I dared to stick a knife in a tree. I just consider it, I'm helping generate this tree's immune system. So kind of call this a vaccine. Anyway, that'll make somebody mad, I know. So that's hopefully, by the way, look at this thing. Had a couple of miscalibrations, and it took a couple of pretty tough bangs, and it seems to be okay. You can notice the rubber handle kind of bumped away from there just a little bit, but that's just because this is not really designed to be balance tested. But no harm, no foul, because it's still really solid, still did everything it's supposed to do, and it still put a dent like that. So they'll get mad about that too. So anyway, I'll stop now. That's the Gerber LMF II ASEK. If you're looking for a really solid, dependable survival knife that has actually been tested by the men and women in uniform overseas, this is the real deal. Great sheath. And again, this one's about 173 bucks. The LMF II, I think it's the infantry version, which is not the non-ASEK version. The exact same knife, exact same sheath, just doesn't have the extra leg strap and doesn't have the strap cutter. It may not have any leg straps. I don't know, you have to check that. But it's about 70 bucks cheaper, close to 65 bucks cheaper. So either one, extremely solid knife. I highly recommend this. Made in the USA. So once again, thanks to the folks at Gerber for sending me this so I can show it to you. As always, thank you for watching Survival on Purpose. If you'd like to support the channel financially, I invite you to go to patreon.com/survivalonpurpose. And if you want to find out the special super secret benefits for doing so, I invite you to go to survivalonpurpose.com/subscribe. And I'll tell you all the secret stuff I can't tell it. I can't say it in public. That's the way it goes. So anyway, I really appreciate the support once again. My name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident. So be prepared. I'll see you next time.